All right, today we're having biscuits and gravy. Now, first time I ever had this was at the Denny's restaurant in Victoria, BC in Canada. There's a thing called the Southern Grand Slam, and I had those and I thought, oh, these are fantastic. Then I was in North Carolina, and the last day I was at the airport actually. I had breakfast at the airport. They had biscuits and gravy. I'm like, yes, I'm having some of that. Delicious. Now, if you're from the South, don't hate me for my recipe because this is not probably very authentic, but, well, the biscuits are pretty close. The gravy might be different from what you're used to. It's my style of gravy. This is a Kuma's Kitchen gravy, all right? But, well, look at this. Pour gravy over top of a fluffy biscuit. Ah, when you taste this, you're not going to hate me, whether you're from the South or not. All right, let's go in the kitchen. Make this right now. All right, so here in front I've got the ingredients we're going to use to make the gravy itself. And across the front here, I've got 3 tablespoons of butter. I have here 1/4 cup of flour. Here I've got 2 teaspoons of dried sage and a 1/2 teaspoon each of salt and pepper. Here, I've got a 1/2 an onion finely sliced or finely chopped. Over in here, I've got 4 ounces or 110 grams of cream cheese. And here I've got 3/4 of a pound or 340 grams of ground meat. In this case, it's a mixture of pork and beef. Pork is really nice in this, so you just go full out pork is good. Any ground meat will do. And then across the back here, I've got 1.5 cups of milk. So first thing I'm going to do, I've got my kind of medium-sized pot here today, and I'm going to bring that up to medium heat. Toss in the butter. I want to melt that butter. Get that going. All right, so that butter's about melted. In go the onions. Gotta cook those onions for about 5 minutes. Just want to soften them up a bit, get them a little translucent, and then we'll be back here in 5. See you then. All right, those will be cooking for about 5 minutes. The onions are softened up. Now all I want to do is get the ground meat in there. Get all of that. All right, get that in there, and then I'm going to do the salt and pepper in there, the sage, and the flour. Mix that around. I'm going to cook this now for about 8 to 10 minutes, depending. I want to brown the meat a little bit. So I'm just going to keep stirring it every once in a while, cooking it. We'll see you back here in about 8 to 10 minutes. All right, that's been cooking for just about 10 minutes. The meat's browned. Got a little browning on the bottom too. So first thing I'm going to do, you're always going to get browning because of the flour. Take about 1/3 of the milk, add that in, and then scrape off that beautiful taste and flavor off the bottom. So we're deglazing the bottom of the pot. Might take a little scraping. There, it's starting to come off as the liquid works into it. Okay, now I'm going to add the rest of the milk. Mix that in. Right now, it's going to be a bit soupy yet. You're going to have to cook it for a little bit, thicken it up. But of course, we add in that cream cheese, and that's going to help start thickening things up. Whoa, even faster. All right, so now you just got to mix around and use a spatula. Spatula? Use your the word's totally gone. Wooden spoon, close enough. I forget the English word for this. All right, use that to break up the cream cheese. Break it up, mix it in. Gonna do this for a couple minutes. We want to bring it back up to heat because that milk's gonna have cooled everything off. So 2, 3, 4 minutes. It's all going to be perfect. All right, that's been cooking for just a couple minutes. It's up to heat now, and look at that. We got a nice gravy consistency there. All right, I'm going to turn the heat off. Put a lid on that. We can heat that up again later. Oh, a little taste. It's good. So it's a really mild, nice gravy. Gonna go great with biscuits. All right. Now, what I've got here is we're gonna make the biscuits now. Here at the back, 4 cups of flour. 3/4 cup of butter, cut up into small pieces, and then just throw them back in the fridge again. I want it good and chilled. 1.5 cups of milk. 2 tablespoons of baking powder, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and this is of course my usual favorite, my raw cane sugar. And over here I've got 1.5 teaspoons of salt. So first thing I want to do is grab a large bowl, put all the flour into the bowl. I'm going to toss the sugar, baking powder, and salt into here. Mix them up a bit. Now this next step, if you got a food processor, use a food processor. So much easier. If not, you're gonna be cutting that butter in with a knife, a couple of knives, things like that. Me, I like to use the food processor. Bring that out from here. Gonna put that flour mixture into the food processor. All right. Get that off to one side for right now. We're going to need that again. Then, put the top, whoa, helps you get this on the proper way. Let's spin that around. Okay. Get that top on. What I'm going to do now is just kind of zap that a little bit, and I'm going to start adding in butter. Let's just throw about half of that in there. I don't put all of it in yet. I'll put some in there. Get it working in, because that's a large amount in there. Pulse that a bit, toss in the rest of the butter. Get in there. All right, they're ready. And now just pulse. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pulse it until the little pieces of butter are about anywhere between 1/8 and 1/4 inch, a little under 1/4 inch, so about 3-4 millimeters, somewhere around there. Okay, now grab our bowl. I'm going to toss. Let's get this out of the way. Toss this mixture into the bowl. Pull that blade out of there. Get all this out of the way. All right, now I'm going to make a bit of a well in the middle. I want to start working this milk into here. So pour some milk in. And so I want to do this very gently. I don't want to mix this up and get the gluten going in the flour. Just enough to bring it all together. So. Yeah, it's not all perfectly together, but I don't want to overwork it. So get that off there. What I'm going to do now is to toss a little bit of flour on the counter. So I've got a bag of flour here. I'm going to flour that counter a bit. That'll be good. Put that off to one side. And now, try to bring this together into a rough ball. It's not going to hold together very well, but that's okay. It's a messy job, but the biscuits are well worth it. All right, so there we go. Flatten it out with your hands. Do not use a rolling pin, you just want to use your hands. Flatten it down, flatten it down. And come down to about an inch or about 25 millimeters. It's got a couple of little bits left in there. So let's see, that's looking pretty close. Now, what I've got here is a large baking sheet with a piece of baking paper on there. Kitchen paper, whatever you want to call it. And that's just going to make it easier to get these off afterwards. Now, you can use any kind of round cutter. I don't have a perfectly round cutter. I've got this kind of fluted cutter. It's going to be kind of fancy biscuits, isn't it? Go in, cut, plop them on here. Next one, cut, plop it on here. You can leave them quite close to each other, actually. Not a problem. They push up against each other, that's okay. All right, now I'm just gonna take the excess, bring it back together again. We got what, 9, 10, 11 biscuits on there already. Got a few more out of this yet. Work that down. And away we go. Start cutting some more. All right, there we go. We got what, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 biscuits out of that. Gonna fit it in there just right. Those are going to go in that oven. The oven is preheating right now at 425 degrees Fahrenheit or 220 degrees Celsius. These are going to go in for about 12, 13, 14 minutes. What I'm going to look for is that they're a little bit of nice browning, kind of a golden browning happening. All right. And also just start rising and get kind of tearing apart a little bit, a little flakiness. That's going to be a perfect biscuit. See you back here shortly. Oh yeah, these just came out of the oven. They've been exactly 12 minutes. Look at those beauties. Nice browning there. Oh, they're looking fantastic, looking flaky. Perfect. So, what I do now, grab a plate, grab one of these. They're gonna be hot. Ooh. Hot, 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 hot. Put one on there. Yeah. And then we've got the gravy over here. Now the gravy's still hot. Wait, if it's been sitting for a while, just reheat it a little bit on a low heat. Bring the heat back up. So I'm going to take a bit of this gravy, mix it up a bit, and just spoon some of that over top. Oh, yes. All right. That looks great. All right, get out there, make some of these biscuits and gravy. All right, if you like this recipe, there's a lot more here on the Kuma's Kitchen YouTube channel, so go check them out. And they're all original recipes created by me, Kevin Riley, originally just for Kuma's Kitchen and some way before Kuma's Kitchen was ever even born. I've been making these recipes since I was 6 years old. So go check them out. Make sure you subscribe because there's a new one coming up every Monday. And if you're not yet a patron, well, consider becoming one, because for as little as $3 a month, you can be supporting the creation of these videos. And also, you get all the kind of cool stuff that's on the patreon.com feed that the other patrons are getting right now. All right, go make these delicious biscuits and gravy and make cooking fun again with Kuma's Kitchen.